Hi guys, it's Jen. I don't really have a clue what I'm going to do this video on, but I'm being guided to do a video and just start talking. I got all my stuff on my bed, like my journals and art things, and I have a feeling it's going to have to do with that. So first, I want to give a shout out to John Davis from Corn. Today's his birthday. Fellow Capricorn. And we got snow yesterday and all through the night, so I'm going to show you guys really quick out my window. I'm not going out there, so here's the snow. And the sky is kind of light out. It's 10:30 p.m. and there's like a bright sky. I don't know if my phone is picking it up there, but it's not really dark, so to speak. So, okay, well, I'm being guided here. I guess I had an idea earlier that I was going to try to do the topic on like how it is to be an intuitive empath and some of the challenges and struggles, but some of the extrasensory abilities that we have. And I think I'm going to go in that direction with my channel just to help anyone else out there that might be a little different than the average, and some of the things that are special and that are very unique that we share as those kind of people. So here is my little setup area. I have some incense going right now because I was clearing the energy in my room. Since we have that, you know, extrasensory ability, all that really means is that our sense of perception is a little more, is working a little bit at a faster pace and a higher capacity, meaning that's like the connection with the third eye, pineal gland in your brain, like right between your eyebrows, or that sense of, you know, if there's spirit or energy around. Or I try to explain it to people like, it's as if, say you were blind, visually blind with these eyes, and you were walking around and you had to sense when you were going to run into something like a piece of furniture or something, right? You'll feel it in a sense and you don't need to see it with your eyes. Like, you'll know it's there because you'll sense it, you'll perceive it, like these little stimuli that are in your body and in your cells. They're like little hairs and they start ling, like if something, if they pick up on a signal that something's right there, and then that little vibration that happens sends a signal to your brain like, whoa, stop, you know, something's right in front of you, you're gonna, you know, bump into it or hurt yourself or whatever. So anyways, I just lost my train of thought with that, so I'm going to show you guys the stuff that I have that I was working on. I was just going to read a couple of excerpts of poems because I have a bunch of books. Like, I love to read, and I use that kind of when I am needing guidance. Like, people pray, they meditate, spiritual people may communicate with other energies or entities or spirits or whatever, because like I said, wait, I got all messed up there, sorry. It's hard to put everything into words. That's why I'm always like a nervous wreck all the time, because it's hard to talk about these things, number one. Number two, it's hard to express them in words because there's really not words that exist for these types of things, because they've never really been addressed and understood and discussed to where there's terms available for them. So that's why I've always struggled with that. And then, like, in today's world, you know, here in 2020, by the way, it is Saturn Day, January 18th, 2020. You know, the the perception sense, the third eye, the supernatural, the sixth sense, the metaphysical, paranormal, all of those labels mean at the root core the same thing. They're just similar terms to describe the same subject, you know. And so intuitive empaths such as myself, we're able in a sense to release the physical body and mind, and kind of like similar to an out-of-body experience or astral traveling or lucid dreaming or dreamscape or, you know, we're able to kind of pause our bodies and our minds and all those senses and just tune in really quickly and easily into that non-physical spirit, or like not in physical form but in a different realm. It's like a different dimension. For instance, your conscious mind and your subconscious mind would be just two different dimensions of the same brain and the same matter and everything, but it's just two different areas, and they usually can't communicate between each other. Well, sometimes with us they can. That's why we can't sometimes perceive what's reality and what's not, and people have throughout our lives deemed us insane or something like that, or multiple personalities or what have you, but it's really not that. It's just, there's such good communication between both hemispheres of the brain and the conscious mind and the subconscious or the unconscious, or I like to call it the superconscious, because that's like your higher mind. And if they're able to communicate between both of them themselves, it would be like those VR games, video games, where you put the goggles on and you're in a virtual reality. Well, that would be similar to a dream. And then you take the goggles back off and you go about your day, and that's reality, right? Well, imagine if you didn't have goggles and you couldn't tell which one you were in, you know? And, was this the person I was just talking to? Or what? You know, where am I? I feel like I'm... And so we've walked around our lives, or I have anyways, myself, not having literally any one person to relate to about any of this or talk to about being different like that. And it's not that I'm blaming anyone if they were my age or we went to school together or later on and we worked together at a job, or if it's somebody in my family. Just the way that things have been in this world since we've been alive, there wasn't an opportunity or a chance to, because you'd either be criticized or punished or, you know, something like that. So just nobody talked about anything, and that's just the way it was for me in my world. So now we're at an age where we have the right and the freedom to say exactly what we want to say. And that's why I'm using this opportunity to at least talk about my story here and kind of the hell on earth that I've survived through, and that there's bigger and better things, and we don't have to conform to the ways of this world. I always tell people we're born here, but we're not from here. And, you know, if you can figure out where you've been, where you are, and where you're going, life gets a little easier to manage, and then things get better as a whole. And that's my mission here. So here's some of my materials. This is a cool satchel I got in Florida. We took a vacation, took the kids to Disney a few years back, and that was an Indiana Jones live show they did. These are just some coloring things. There's my tarot deck that I use. A couple of my journals. I always draw, and I fill them with just mementos or things that are going on at that time. I write all my channeling sessions and when I, you know, study certain things. Books, my numerology and tarot and astrology book that kind of gives me some definitions, you know, on certain cards or certain aspects that I'm not, skilled in these areas of astrology. I mean, I am to a degree, but, I'm more science-minded. I study more physics and, neuroscience and things like that I love. But I do study, like, astronomy and astrophysics and things. And then I love all the arts, music, and I used to play piano and paint with oils and things like that. So it's all about the arts and sciences for me. And astrology, I do believe, is very much part of that. Astronomy and astrology, it's cosmology, and that's how I refer to it. And figuring out your life pattern and star signs and stargates and things like that, you're much better able to make good decisions throughout your life and have a happier life overall. And that's the mission here. Jen's journey to happiless. The one aspect in life I never have enjoyed yet. So I want to take you guys with me and see, like, from beginning to end and all the struggles, and then all the things that I've overcome too, so that it can be an inspiration. And nobody has to live any kind of horror that I have lived here. And, living it gives you the experience in it, so then you can start teaching it. And if I can help just one person out there, then that's my mission is done, because I know how things work in this universe, and everything is exponential. So it won't stop there. It'll only expand, and I think that's a great thing. So I wanted to just some real truth, real life. That's why I don't use green screens. I don't use a script. I don't have a team. I don't have any special equipment. Nothing's like edited or anything. It's raw and truthful, because I'm all about the truth. And anything less is a non-truth, an anti-truth, if you will. So, oh, hi, Bob Ross. Don't you love this t-shirt? My 18-year-old had it, and I said, Jonathan. Yes, my son's name is Jonathan, too. I was like, can I please borrow Bob? and he's like, all right. I love this man. I used to watch him, and that's how I paint his landscapes and everything. He's the type of individual that I'm talking about, like, where you can take your time, you can enjoy your art. Nobody's in a rush. Nobody's full of chatter, and distraction. He would just paint and do always smiling, and, like, there's that smile. So I go around purposely anymore, and I ask people, like, are you happy? I don't say, hi, how you doing, or how are you? I say, are you happy? When you look outside your window, does life look happy out there? Does everyone look happy? Does the poor planet look happy? Does her environment look happy? Do her animals look happy out there? So this is the wake up. Time to wake up, people. Wake up call. Ready, set, wake up. Yeah, we need to slow things down, because being that I have studied different quantum effects of cosmological things and bodily things, computer programs and things in that area, there's some, things that are going on right now that are very dangerous and could have a very, very negative impact on people and this planet and this entire solar system, for that matter. Or we can all make a choice as one big collective of individual single persons out there and make a choice, our own decision by ourselves as the authority of ourselves, and say, we're not going to buy into that anymore. We're not going to destroy this place or anyone else, and we're going to make better choices in life and start doing things differently. And there's easy ways, and they're fun, and they're free, and, there's the scientific Tesla 369 key to the universe, and then there is the key to living, which is happiness and doing things together and working together and being a team. And holding the weight on those balancing Libra scales in a better direction rather than always one side's heavier and one's lesser. That's just metaphors, analogies, or, you know, those things called parables. So I'm going to be back. I'm going to do a video that I did gather notes for. Now it's become clear. I do work with different energies. I have a spirit team that's comprised of different beings that I communicate with. I have had this ability my entire life, but when I was young, I didn't understand any of it. And they've been good and bad experiences with, you know, it could be an ancestor that's crossed over. It could be a being from somewhere else, you know, like a foreign alien. Someone that has lived in a different time, someone that you're related to throughout your biological lineage. There's a lot of things. It's all about your senses, your ability to perceive, your ability to process, your ability to communicate, and the level of precision it has in that line. Like, think if you call somebody on the phone, right, and you dial somebody and your connection's all staticky, like, that's not a good connection. You're not going to be able to hear or perceive what message is being transmitted to you. But if you have a crystal clear line that's open nonstop, it's always on, never cut off, and direct line, like hardwired and wireless, then you're able to just, at the drop of a hat, on, off. And sometimes I literally have to be mindful and go throughout my day and just say, okay, everybody, like, and I'm talking to my unseen by the eyes and unheard by the ears spirit team that I work with. And, you know, I'll be like, I need privacy. And then since I'm an open channel of communication, it's like I'm the sore thumb that sticks out because I'm the one standing there saying, I'm open for communication. Everybody else goes about their life, and it's like you're glowing and sparkling, and it's like being one of those bug lights or something that draws the bugs to them, right? And it's like, what the F, man? You know, can I ever be left alone if it's not somebody, like, physically in reality? It's somebody like, Jen, I need to communicate. And I'm like, yo, Jen's, like, got the sign, do not disturb, on her office door right now, and it says, like, closed for lunch, I'll be back in 2 hours. Sometimes I have to make sure I'm mindful and say that and, you know, be about that, because they'll just relentlessly in it. It's like an influx, and I'm like, oh, I can't take this. So, you know, there's a lot of discipline that goes into being like me, and it's been really hard to balance that these years that I've been here alive as Jen, and I'm 43 now, and man, I just was like, you know what, if anything, I'm just going to do something where I can be the example, like living proof of experience in everything. Like, when I study something, I research it. If I don't know it, I ask, and I find out, and I learn everything that I can, and get as much information, and that's from instructors and books, or if it's from my spirit team, and it's telepathically, because that's technically what intuitive communication is. It's an open line in your mind of communication. And, you know, I have never, until it was way later in my life, I didn't realize what exactly it was. But sometimes you're able to tune into other people without them even knowing, and the same vice versa. And I have stumbled upon that. I'm not saying that I had intent to, like, oh, I'm going to go to so-and-so's mind and try to see what no, I don't do anything with any intent to harm anybody or hurt anybody. It's not how I roll. Even people that I work with, here, see, I use all these terms all the time and I can't think of the right words to just, okay, people I know in my neighborhood here where I live, in Pennsylvania. I'm working with a couple of people, and I specifically straight up told them both from the beginning that I do practice a true Hippocratic oath, and I treat my channeling sessions with people just as doctor-patient confidentiality, meaning that I tell someone and they're aware that I'm about to go read their energy. And that includes mind, body, spirit. And I tell them that I must ask their permission, and they must verbally and in their intent fully mean it, because once I open that, like pull the curtain back, everything's there, good, bad, and ugly. And some people don't express that to their clients. They just, like, say you call a medium or an energy reader, and they don't have really high moral ethics. They're opening you up completely to read you all your skeletons in your closet and all, and personal, real confidential information, but not informing you. And I don't think if most people knew that specifically, they'd agree to it. That's just I wouldn't. And that's the other rule I practice. Treat others the way you want to be treated. So I've tried to my whole life, and every kindness has been repaid with a punishment for me. Hey, you know what else I say? Every experience I've had in the 43 years that I've lived here on Earth as Jennifer is either a blessing that has given me knowledge and wisdom, experience that I personally have the experience, so that gives me another right of authority because I've actually gone through it myself. I don't just learn something in a book and then talk about it and regurgitate the same words that my teacher taught me. No, I teach myself, and I learn from the masters that have gone before throughout history, like Ralph and Walt and Edgar and Shakespeare and many, many, many others who have done something for the good of all, or tried to help humanity in this planet, and big things they discovered or accomplished or found better ways. I'm always seeking a better way that is efficient, but it's accurate and doesn't harm or hurt. And so that's my mission. And I guess the next video is going to be my dedication one, which is to Capricorns out there. I am one. It takes one to know one. And I'll tell you what, world, for those of you who aren't aware or think you know differently, for Capricorns, it's a whole different ball game. In this game here in the Matrix on Prison Planet, formerly known as Earth or Gaia. Yeah, it's a game. There's a game going on. Big game. And star signs and stargates and astrological zodiac signs are very important for a very specific reason. And certain people that are born under certain signs have, like I said, even other abilities and or challenges that come along with that. And Capricorn, man, I feel you. Woo! Ruling planet, biggest influential entity, Saturn. Yeah, I get it, because it takes one to know one, and I am one. And have been pretty much crucified for it my entire life, because there's a big balance there of both aspects, and it's having the entire world on your shoulders. It's like the angel and demon that are on your shoulder, that little analogy. It's true. And we have both. And we balance both because we embrace both, because we are made up of both. Because in order to be all that you can be, you must experience all. And the only way to experience all is by acting and doing, embracing, perceiving, overcoming, conquering. So I'm labeled, and I have been labeled my whole life. I was raised Roman Catholic. I went to a private Christian school. I have family members that are atheists. I have family members that are Wiccan. I don't claim a religion, nor do I claim a political party. I don't play that game either. Because every time we feed our energy into their control and manipulation games, they're winning. So I don't give my energy away. I don't hand it out anymore. Because when I spent some time in my life doing that and giving it away just to fit in or be accepted by someone rather than no one, then I lost out because I was left depleted and empty and hollow and shallow. So I tried and spent most of my adult life trying to fill in that hole with different substance, such as drugs or alcohol or companionship that was detrimental and not really a positive thing, or shopping or spending money or sex or alcohol, or there's just so many things, and you can't put a band-aid on an open wound that doesn't have any healing properties. You have to heal it and cure it, and nothing else is going to work unless you get to the core of it, figure it out, solve it, and then conquer it. Victory. So 2020, we are headed towards freedom, and I will fight until my dying breath, especially in the name of my generation, Generation X, the generation of degenerates, wackos, weirdos, freaks, misfits, black sheep. We are the generation who are now parents and have our own children or kids or young adults, and we are the generation that no one has yet to label, or our music genre still has no label because there wasn't one. There hasn't been one ever. It's new and fresh, and when something is new and fresh, it's a new discovery. And there isn't a label that exists because it's created and new and it has its own. So its creator will name it. And so we are misunderstood. We are, we've been plucked and kicked off this planet left and right with drugs and suicide and depression and psychiatric medications and treatment places that fail and jails and prisons and crimes and criminals and gangs and wars, and some of us were nonconformists. We never blended in with and chose a side because we're totally and completely neutral. And that's something that a Capricorn Saturn aspect has, is that ability to see very clearly, like a judge, you know, that's presiding over a court case, and you know, you have to choose not based on any personal opinion or argument or judgment or feeling or agreement or anything like that. Just what it is. It is what it is, and not attach a feeling to it. So, you know, people like me, we are observers. We watch and listen, not that we're being voyeurs, like peeping Toms. Ooh, let me see what they're eavesdroppers. Let me listen. No. It's just we're like people watchers, you know. We sit back and we stay out of shit, and we watch and see what happens so that we can learn and say, oh, that's the wrong way to do it, or that's the right way to do it. And we, in our actions, we try our best personally to do things exactly right. And then we get thrown another label of OCD or perfectionist or something like that, obsessive compulsive. It's not. It's that we know the best way, so that's the way we try to run. And it almost feels like everything in this world and those in it try to hinder you and slow you down and prevent you. And it's like then you have to deal with patience and anger because you're so irritated with the noise of the world and people that are so oblivious, or, you know, the assholes out there and the ignorant people and the cruel people and the hatred and the venom, and, you know, then these broken constructs and institutions that are failing. And then, you know, like the love aspect we have is so genuine and real. Like, we are the most loyal mother effers that you're ever going to meet. And people have tested us, and we don't flip-flop, you know. What we say is what we mean, and we mean what we say. And people try you and try you and try you your whole life, and it's like, all right, I'm about to erupt like a volcano, walk away. So again, having Saturn as the teacher is really good. It's like having a PhD professor teach you rather than a kindergarten teacher. You know, like, you have literally the master and others that have gone before, Buddha, Jesus, all these different people that did something great. And it was for the benefit of all, not just a select few or, you know, an elite few. It was for all, whether people perceived them good, bad, evil, dark, light, peaceful, whatever, you know, to each his own. But don't hurt anyone, don't hurt yourself, and don't do anything that's going to be harmful or destroy anything or anyone else, and go about your business. Thank you, have a great day. Like, it's that simple. Somebody needs help with something, you help them out. If you can't, you get help for them. I mean, it's like these simple rules. Don't kill, don't steal, don't lie. You'd think by 2020, you know, people would be catching on, look around, and it's just so slow that now those of us out there like me who are impatient and have a problem and struggle with it, we're like, can we skip to the part where we just, you know, win? Like, can we get it done? No. Okay, so how can we help people so that we can gather as many people together in this movement of truth that's going on in the world, and peace towards a future of freedom and sovereignty, liberty? How do we get people there? What's the fastest route there? Because that's where we need to be, because this planet is going like this, and one side is, you know, we've just got to balance it out, because the waters are getting real sloshy. So I'm just going to paint the picture like that. I'll be back with the Capricorn dedication and Generation X dedication video. And I'm going to show you guys on camera. Now I know why. My guides are telling me now that this is why I had to do this video, is to get myself prepared, and then to also make the vow to do the video, so now I can't back out of it. Oh, very funny. So I guess I'm going to be talking about how it is to grow up Capricorn in this world. Grow up multi-dimensional, interplanetary freak of this world. And how it is that I made it to 43 and so many others in my generation. Just for reference, I'll say Chester Bennington from Lincoln Park. He was born in 1976, just like me. Bicentennial babies. He's not here, and look at the contribution he made to mankind. What was his message about always? What did he experience in his life? And what legacy has he left, and what happened to him? Put the pieces of the puzzle together. Many of us didn't make it. I'm 43. That's like somebody else hitting the age 100. If you can hit 40 and you're from my generation, you're blessed, because many didn't even make it to after their, even out of their 20s. Kurt Cobain, 27. So, no more. We're done losing our brothers and sisters, our fam, our tribe, our soul mates, our soul family, our twins, twin flames, because they're all aspects of us, because we all come from one place, and we're trying to piece things back together, and there's another side that's trying to pull it all apart. So people are just going to have to wake up and make a choice of which team you choose to be on, because it's not about competing and choosing sides. It's a team that's going to help balance out the scales. And it's peaceful. It's not war. It's not fighting against one another. It's standing together and standing firm and loyal. Love you guys. I'll be back with my Capricorn dedication. Yay!